Hello and welcome to my channel. I had the expansion pack for the Alien board game called We're in the Pipe 5x5, and this is probably going to be the final expansion they ever release. It comes complete with the remaining 2 Marines and 4 brand new alien characters, as well as all the other components required to introduce these guys to the main game. So while we're here, let's have a quick look inside the box. First up is the updated rulebook, complete with the new alien stats. Plus we have the dropship and air vent tile, plus the mission sheet and the tokens. But what we're interested in for this video are the miniatures. As with the base game, they come on sprues and need assembling, and luckily we have the instructions that show just how to do that. So let's build these guys up and bring them to life. I'm going to start off with the pilot, Pharaoh. Each character comes in about 5 or 6 pieces, and those pieces need cleaning up prior to assembly, either using a hobby knife or mini file. And when it comes to assembly, I prefer to use plastic cement, as this will basically weld both parts together. With this character we have a choice of 2 heads, one with and one without the helmet. I'm going to pick the one with the helmet, as that's the one where she's most recognised. Each of these characters has a peg so you can attach it to the base. For now I'm just going to push it into place, and I'll glue them together after painting. I also quickly assembled Spunkmeyer with the quartermaster, and this is how they're looking so far. And now it's time to move on to the aliens. These are a little bit more complicated to go together, but providing you follow the instructions you'll be fine, as they're basically like a 3D jigsaw puzzle. The biggest problem with these aliens comes down to their tails, as they're just a little bit too long, but you can always cut them down a little bit and make them more manageable. I'm going to finish off these aliens off camera and skip straight ahead to the finished models. These alien models are much more creative than the base set, and they all come with unique functions. But before we can play, we first need to paint. So I'll cover them all in primer. I'm going to put the Marines to one side and concentrate on the aliens first. And I cover them all in black. And that's followed up by a blue wash. And this will help replicate how they looked under studio lighting. And then for the highlights, I dry brushed on a light grey. And as you can see, this helped bring out all the raised details. And I brushed on some silver for the teeth and the second mouth. And while I have silver on the brush, I also paint the bases. And this doesn't need to be too neat at this stage. For the names on the bases, I decided to go with a bright yellow to replicate the alien blood. Thankfully, because the lettering is raised, it makes it a little bit easier to paint. Then for the rim of the base, I just paint that black. To help tidy up the base further, I drop on some black ink. This drops into all the indent and creates some contrast. And with the aliens completed, I can move on to the flight crew. And I started off by painting the fleshed areas, which is used for the hand and face. And then I cover the same areas again, but with a flesh wash. And then I turn my attention to the heads, starting off with the hair and the microphones, then moved on to the helmets and the sunglasses. The helmet was painted in olive drab, which is a typical military colour. I chose to paint the glasses black rather than silver, and while on with black I also paint the pistols. And I chose a slightly different shade of green for the flight suits, as I wanted it to be clear that they were made out of a different material than the helmet. And then the boots are painted in black. Both of these guys are wearing patches. The one on the right arm had been moulded on, and that's painted in blue. Spunkmeyer also had one on his left arm, which is supposed to be the American flag, so I simply painted that in red. Moving on to the bases, I followed the same procedure that I did for the aliens, and that meant painting the flooring in silver, and painting the border in black. And I chose to stick with the same colour for the lettering, and that's bright yellow. And once again I'm thankful that the lettering is raised, otherwise it wouldn't be so neat. And before I forget, I dry brush on a light grey over the whole figure, and this just brings out all the detail on the raised areas. And then adding a panel line on the base does the same effect except with the shadows. Then I can seal in the paint with a matte sealer. And now the last thing to do is to add a satin finish on the glasses and the helmet, and this will give it just a little bit of a shine. And there we have it. We have 6 new figures painted and assembled, ready to use in the game. So just as a reminder, we have 4 new alien types. We have the Guard, the Scout, the Skulker and the Brute. And for the humans, we have the dropship pilot, Colette Ferrer, and we have the co-pilot, who is also the quartermaster, and that's Daniel Spunkmeyer. Yeah, not the best choice of surnames. But I actually do love this board game. It sticks very close to the events of the movie. So I'm actually looking forward to playing it with this expansion. Thank you for watching. Don't forget, if I can do it, so can you.